All right, so welcome back to another session of Off the Mat. This month we are here with Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
So Matt is our teacher feature for November. And a lot of you guys have gotten to see Matt, but this is a fun, different context. We've always been talking about our yoga teachers in the past, and now we get to bring Matt, one of our onboard musicians, along for the journey with us and get to share more of what Matt does, because so much cool stuff is coming up. So welcome, Matt, to our session. So Matt and I just were having a fun chat, because Matt and I always like to have big chats, but getting to know him over the last year has been such a joy. Matt plays alongside of Maxwell on Sundays at our Yoga on the Sand class, and then he joins me on Thursdays, which we won't talk about what time that is because we're not sure yet for the coming weeks ahead as we shuffle into the winter season. But I love Matt kind of goes with the flow of things. And I love that the way he found our community was actually through Maxwell while standing on Solomar. I feel like all good things that happen with Matt always happen on Solomar Beach, or at least the stories that I'm connected with you through. So I want to share the community with that. How did you and Maxwell find each other?
Well, I enjoy surfing. I've done that my whole life. And there was a good swell that day. Good. And I ended up going to it was actually at Emmawood, okay, the upper parking lot area right off the off ramp. And it was funny because I remember I rolled in and I threw this guy in the car a shaka next to me just randomly. I was all super cheerful and very, just friendly that day. And I got out and checked the waves and decided to grab one of my flutes and sit on top of my car and just kind of check out, the surf and see how it is. And and I started playing and then Maxwell, got out of his car. He was like, "Hey, do you want to play for a yoga class on the sand?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And yeah. And then I guess we both ended up going out, had a fun little session. And and then a couple weeks later, I believe I played for his first class on the sand.
Yeah.
And, I met you and
that was such a beautiful marriage of and it's like I've been calling live music into our community forever, and here we are, for a year now we've had you as sort of our resident musician. And I feel like you're really setting the tone, no pun intended, for
nice
for others to come too, right? Because then, as Cam had been teaching with us for a while, and it really opened up the conversation of how to start to integrate music into our community more. And Cam, and then I had just gotten my harmonium, Emily got a harmonium. It's like we've really kind of you created that experience for us. So I love that we have more of that on a regular basis. And then your life with, well, let's go back to the beginning. So because you've shared this story with me before, but how did music find you, or how specifically did the flute, if that's too long of a story?
I'll try and keep it brief. Sometimes I tend to go pretty long.
No, it's good though. It's share from your heart like you always do.
So I have been a musician pretty much my whole life. I've been very creative, very heart-based. And I started playing guitar when I was younger. In my teens, a lot of my family were really connecting with their Native American roots. And I realized that what they were doing, and they were, going out to different events, different powwows, different ceremonies. And, over the years I went to them and I wanted a way to connect to that part of my heritage. And, I remember it's funny. My dad actually had a flute laying around the house for years, and it was a Toys R Us flute. And it was a Native American flute, but it sounded terrible. It really did. I didn't know the difference. So, but I knew that there was a better quality flute out there. And, long story short, a family friend of my aunt, makes Native American flutes. And, his name is Matt Lopez. And he was at one of my aunt's powwows in Los Angeles, selling his flutes. And, my aunt said, "Hey, go find Mac and get a flute." And I felt, really good about it. So I've met Mac, and sweetest guy ever. And yeah, he sold me my first really good flute, like a quality flute. And
And how long ago was that?
ooh, that was in 2018.
Okay.
And yeah, this was around, you know, a rough time for me because I had gotten a pretty bad injury working, and I had to stop working, and I couldn't do anything, all the things that I love to do. I couldn't
Mm.
surf, I couldn't go outside and hike or, you know, climb, whatever. All I had was the flute. And so yeah, it really helped me a lot to heal from all the stuff I was going through with that injury. Cause I mean, I couldn't walk basically. I mean, it was really hard to walk. It was extremely painful. And I'm really grateful for that opportunity though, because it was able, you know, often when we perceive sometimes things being bad, turn out to be blessings really. And
Totally.
yeah, it really helped me to heal emotionally. And one thing I focused on and I realized how important it was my breath. Actually, we were actually just having a conversation about breath, which is pretty funny.
I
But
know, I see all these full circles coming
no,
around.
exactly right. But I'm basically doing just prolonged focused breath work, basically when you're playing the flute for long periods of time. And I noticed how much it transformed me. Like, I mean, I was just happier. I was more balanced. I was more peaceful. And I was able to look at situations much more objectively. And yeah. And then I started realizing, I mean, a lot of people were like just telling me, you know, whatever you're doing with the flute, it puts me at peace. You know, the way you're playing, it puts me at peace. And I don't know if I'm any more different than anyone else. Everybody could do it. I truly feel this, but um, I knew that I wanted to share the sounds, the peaceful healing sounds of the flute with everybody. And I mean, I don't share that much about myself, but I really want to do the best I can in this world to make a difference in people's lives. And that means the world to me. I mean, yeah, it really does. That's really what I want to do. And that's why I'm here. I want to live a fulfilled life and help others to hopefully do the same or bring some sort of joy and peace and something into their lives. So
Yeah.
I found that music, well, that came a little, most of the flute specifically was part of that. And then came in all the sound healing other toys I could get, like the crystal bowls and
But not from Toys R Us.
yeah, exactly, definitely. No, we took great care to get
Yeah.
quality instruments and tools.
But something that you hit on that I feel like we didn't really chat in our like fun precursor conversation we having is like this type of stuff, these tools, whether it's a flute or whether it's yoga, they all build within us gradually, right? I mean, it's like you picked up the flute and you felt very connected to it, but I mean, I'm gonna just kind of put words in your mouth for a second, but I wouldn't imagine that the first time you picked up a flute, all of a sudden all your troubles wandered away. But maybe there was this like feeling of something that it was worth doing it again. Would I be correct in assuming?
Would, yeah, there's that inner calling feeling
Okay.
that that knowing, that inner knowing. I just knew like I need to keep doing this. And then, you know, life and the universe kind of gives me signs that, you know, somebody says, wow, you should keep doing that. Somebody pops in and like there's these little subtle, you know, reminders that, you know, I should keep doing this. I should keep doing this. And
Yeah.
it just keeps growing and building and perpetuating. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And you're someone that I really admire too about the way that you tune into something greater than you of like, you know, just even how we were talking before of like the decisions that you make. Like we always have a conversation. I'll ask Matt a question. He really wants to honor the commitment that he's going to make. And I love, he always asks me, can I get back to you? And it's usually like, you know, 30 seconds later or a day later, he really sits with that. And I feel like getting to watch you over the last year has taught me so much to honor that in myself too, because like you are doing the work, you are being in service, you are sharing your gifts. I share that in my teachings. I share that with the healing practices, and it's like, but it's this beautiful thing of like where the crazy world that we live in and all the things that we want to accomplish somehow has to meet the flow of life, which is where then we find how to share our gifts and when to show up and when to like honor our own space. So I guess I'm more giving you a compliment that I really appreciate it, but just also adding upon, what you were saying there too, of like witnessing you. And the more I've watched you do this, the more of these incredible opportunities keep lining up for you, which kind of brings me to my next thing of wanting to share what you and Rose are creating. And if Rose is around too, you're welcome to have her pop in so that you guys can co-share on the new endeavor that you guys are launching out into the world.
Rose, would you like to pop in?
No pressure, but
you kind of have to now, unfortunately.
We heard her voice. We know she's in the other room. So I just, I want to share because you guys are really, sharing both of your gifts, and I had the pleasure of getting a massage from Rose earlier with a sound bath, which was like, whoa, you guys need to be doing more of this out in the world. But tell us all what you guys have been creating over the last 6+ months.
Go for it.
Oh gosh, I have like massage brain right now. I didn't even get a massage. What are we creating?
Well, tell us about your business, what you know, right? And there's always more to it, like you were sharing. Just share what you know for now.
So what we've been offering to the community has been almost weekly sound baths at this point, and there's so much more. I'm gonna get to it, but we've been trying to do it donation based, mainly because it's really important to me to be able to be accessible. Because I know sometimes not all the awesome events that go on, like not everybody can afford the ticket price sometimes. So it's really important to me that I can get everybody from all walks of life. And so that's really why the donation based is really important to me. Yeah, because I want to reach everybody really, if I can, and connect everybody, because I mean that's really needed in this world, connection, and from all walks of life. And yeah, so for me, I offer Native American flute lessons. We also she does massage, and as you just had a beautiful session this morning, and we also do sound healing and private sessions, and sound healing and massages. And I don't know where, but I feel like this is going to go somewhere that I couldn't even tell you right now. I have this feeling that that it's going to go somewhere much bigger. And
well, everything I've watched you do in the last year just keeps growing. So I have no doubt too. What were you going to say though?
Oh no. And I also have free meditation tracks on Insight Timer. So if anybody wants to check that out,
cool. We'll link that on your teacher feature too, if you want to send me that. And so this is all under the collective of the business venture you guys just launched, which is the Ahava Collective, right? Is that
Ahava Healing Collective?
Ahava Healing Collective. So they're just getting everything up and running. So we'll have both Matt and Rose's Instagram handles on the teacher feature page, but we'll do their community healing collective on there as well. But yeah, I'm so excited for what you guys are doing. And then kind of coming to your guys' featured events, because we're bringing Rose in on this too. So you guys will be sharing your sound bath with the community on November 20th. And tell people a little bit, like, I mean, there's sound baths are becoming so much more accessible out there, but it's like share with individuals, because I really feel like what you guys are offering is different. And I've been to so many sound baths, but I think just collectively what the two of you bring together, and maybe it's who each of you are as individuals, but just also the instruments that you bring into it. But for anybody who's never been to a sound bath, what is that experience like?
Really, it's just kind of surrendering to whatever the sounds need to do for you that day. I mean, like it's a meditative, relaxing experience. Usually Rose will guide them into to be in tune with their breath, as we were talking about breath, to relax. And and then we'll just begin playing various different instruments. For me, I'm not just playing, I'm really pouring my heart into it, like deep intentional prayers, I guess. And yeah, I'm putting my all into it, really. And because I really want people to heal, or to whatever is needed for them. I mean, so many people afterwards have just been so relaxed, and they come stressed, they come tired, and they just feel rejuvenated afterwards. And like, it's such a blessing to bring to people. I can't even.
And it's
Yeah.
beautiful. And I feel that so much. And well, you put me into like two-year meditation in Savasana the other day. I was joking, but you know, I had this thought, because you and I were talking about, you know, each person will experience this from the different, you know, whoever they walked in as, they will have this experience as who they are, and maybe a slight transformation from that, right? And I was just thinking while you were sharing of like how to create that visual for somebody, of like how does that work? How does Matt say prayers and send blessings through a flute, right? And it's like, you let me play the it was the ocean drum the other day, right? The one that has all the little beads on the top of it. Oh, that thing is magic. And in Savasana during class the other day, he had me play it, and I'm connected, and I do my own healing work, so I'm aware of these things. But to like experience the gifts that he shares and through his instruments, it was so neat, you guys. It was like over each person, the instrument literally danced. Like I would hold it and maybe make slight little adjustments, or like kind of tune into like where that person, but like to watch like there's these beads, like probably 50, 100 beads on top of the drum, something like that. And they were each dance for, I mean, I wasn't doing that. And it was just like, but the intention that was being put and what each person needed, it was just this aha of like, how these instruments really show up for each individual. Even in a collective class like that, each person really, I felt like, received what they needed from that instrument, but then also Matt holding, you know, space with the flute that he was playing while I was doing and it was cool to see a different side of, you know, that experience. And I'm always receiving, but to be able to give and watch that. So for anybody who's not sure how Matt's sharing prayers and blessings over the top of individuals, you can come watch the ocean drum, and it's like, you know, it's a literal, but also just that, like, you know, intention that these guys put behind the work that they do. So I just wanted to share that, because it feels like a good visual for people to really understand what happens. So so yeah, I'm so excited that you guys are bringing another sound back to us. And then talk to me a little bit about your foundation for this month, the Tree Sisters.
Yeah.
I don't want to know everything.
Well, the Tree Sisters, they're really committed to planting trees, basically, in the carbon sinks of the world, the carbon sinks of, you know, Amazon, I believe it's Indonesia, and just other rainforest areas. And they also support female business ventures, and that's something very near and dear to me. I mean, I feel I just want to see everybody thrive in this world, and it's just really important to me. I mean, yeah, so
yeah
that's
awesome. So we're going to be doing your fundraising class on November 28th. And so Maxwell will be teaching that yoga on the sand, and then Matt will be doing his beautiful intention setting through his flutes during that class. And then all of the money that we raise, all the registration fees, will go towards the Tree Sisters. And if you guys can't make it to class, on his teacher feature page, we'll have a few other options that you can just pop in and create some donations. So yeah, anything else that either of you guys want to share before we sign off and send everybody into November? Come out and come surfing with us sometime.
Seriously, you should.
Yeah. Matt's really a big part of our surf WhatsApp chat. Like, that's how he's always the one, like, oh, the waves are gonna be kick-ass today, or they're gonna be cherry, or they're gonna be happily. Matt is like become the running like namer of the waves in our group. So yeah, if you guys ever want to come out and catch some waves with us, I won't be there this Friday, but usually on Fridays we try to get down to Mondo's, and then anyone else is going out around throughout the week, they check in. So and then Matt can always read the surf report for you, like he does for everybody else. Yeah, so But anyways, well, Rose, I'm glad you got to pop in so people can put a face to the name as well. And I'm so excited for what you guys are creating, and then, you know, the bigger pictures of things that will be to come of that you guys are going to co-create and offer to the community. So
Yeah,
thank
we
you
can't wait.
guys.
We really
Yay.
can't wait. Yeah. Thank you, Jess.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.